Why hello there, RDR fans and future RDR fans. Thanks for tuning in. I just want to let you guys know if you are watching the division breakdown episodes that we're doing week to week, this is the same content. We just decided to chop it up on a team by team basis. So it's just easier for people to look for, and also maybe gets us a little exposure too for people just looking for that specific team. So thanks again. Enjoy the content. I also wanted to let you know the sluts right here. It's a good friend of mine, and his band's awesome, and he's been letting us use all his music for the intros and outros. So I'm going to start throwing on new songs. So if you like what you hear, go to their Spotify and check it out. Right on to the episode. Without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to you guys to kind of explain what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to run down all four teams in the NFC East, talk about their draft, talk about what they did in free agency, who they lost, and then kind of like a 2021 just preview, little fantasy thoughts, thinking how all these losses and additions could impact the team, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it, man. We're just going to kind of go through the depth chart and get everyone prepped for the 2021 year. I think it's going to be a banger. And I'll tell you what was not a banger was the NFC East last year.
Oh, no, they were awful.
You want to talk about a team winning a division with a losing record? That's what we got right here.
Yeah.
But there's been a ton of changes, so I'm super excited.
Anyway, Philadelphia Eagles.
Flip.
Yes, Nick
Sirianni.
So I'll just start with my coach's corner. I'm sorry to take the ball on this. I did minimal research. I definitely dove into the other guys. What I can tell you is this guy started his NFL career in Kansas City under Todd Haley. Kind of one way or another kind of weaseled his way in there with a good interview. And kind of went through that, was with the Chiefs until 2012 with the coaching change with Ronnie Cromell, I think is his name.
Romeo
Cromell. And worked his way up to wide receiver coach in 2012, the Dwayne Bowe era. Doing pretty well. And then going into offensive quality control coach in San Diego. The Chargers, working there until 2017. He didn't really move up. Went to the quarterback's coach, the receivers coach, working with people like Phillip Rivers and, Keenan Allen, Antonio Gates, finding his way into Indianapolis, doing the offensive coordinator until becoming the head coach of the Eagles. And if there's one consistent thing I can tell you from all of this, is he always had a stable running back. You go through the Kansas City. When he was there, Jamal Charles. Going into San Diego, Melvin Gordon. And Danny Woodhead, But, and then moving on to the Indianapolis Colts with like Marlon Mack, and then I guess ultimately Jonathan Taylor, if you want to count that. But, it was a weird year last year once Marlon Mack popped his Achilles. But, so I'm just curious if I think maybe that'll progress. It's always been having that number one receiver in, a T.Y. Hilton or Keenan Allen or Dwayne Bowe. And then not even to mention, Tony Moaki in Kansas City, the tight end, into Antonio Gates, into Eric Ebron. So those were the leading in the offenses that he was a part of. It was the possession receiver, the tight end, and a strong running back. So I don't know if that's going to lead to, I don't know who the possession receiver in Philadelphia is going to be, if it's going to be Devontae Smith, because he doesn't really seem like that. But, Dallas Goedert, and you're looking at Miles Sanders. Even in that Chargers era with Danny Woodhead and all that, who knows? Kenneth Gainwell. Right. I don't know. So those are just some similarities that I matched up with. So it's just the information. So now I'm going to kick it over to you guys, see what you have to say.
No, it's fair. I could see I see the pieces they're putting together. I just hope that Sirianni has a little bit more control over his team than being the puppet that he might be for that ownership, who fired a Super Bowl winning coach after he had a bad year because his entire offensive line was hurt.
He didn't get along with Carson Wentz, man.
Yeah, well, you traded Carson Wentz too. So why'd you got to get rid of both? Anyway,
Where did Doug end up?
I don't think he got hired.
I thought he went back to college.
Did he?
I can't remember.
Okay, I might have missed
He's getting his
that.
degree. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Vatterott.
Well, talking about, while he's looking that up, we'll talk about the Eagles offseason. In free agency, how's Kerryon Johnson grab you? How about Joe Flacco?
Hey,
Wait, what year is this?
Anthony
This year.
Harris.
And is he in the playoffs?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, they took some of the Vikings players and just kept them, huh?
Yeah.
Eric Wilson and Anthony Harris, trying to up that defense.
Which is fair. Those were the only two offensive guys for fantasy, though. That I could
Yeah.
But no, Anthony Harris is a good shout. I think that helps their
That
defense
was
out a
my
lot.
boy. I said
That-
that's
Ryan
cameo.
Kerrigan out of Washington.
Oldie but a goodie, for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously their secondary was 20th, but their pass rush was number 2. And this is another team that went hard on defense in the draft.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited. I'm excited because I like the defensive side of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I think the offensive side could take a big step up. My thing with Nick Sirianni is he going to be like, Frank made this work. I need a pass-catching running back. Because who's the number 3 target on this team, And who was the number 2 target on this team?
Goddard.
What's happening here?
Quez Watkins.
All right, so I don't know. I think Goddard is almost a number 1.
I see Smith being the number 1, but yeah, maybe.
I'm excited. I was just looking at the Goddard's numbers, and it's pretty spicy stuff.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Hit me.
All right, let me get you. So last year in 11 games, he finished as the 20th with 10 points per game, or 10th in points per game. And then in 2019, he was the 10th tight end. And this is both with Zach Ertz on the team.
Yeah.
So if you get rid of the Zach Ertz factor,
Which seems like it's going to happen.
yeah, it kind of has to happen. Zach Ertz was 4th, in the 2019 year when he finished 10th, and tight end finishing. So I think that the sky's the limit. The one thing I do worry about in this offense is, what are they going to do next year? Is Goddard coming back?
Yeah.
Is Zach Ertz really gone? It's just there's so much kind of weird stuff going on that I don't really trust the receiving room, but I do trust that man Kenny Gainwell to step up and have a big pass catching role.
That's fair. My biggest worry, it's going to sound like a repeat of the Giants, but it's the offensive line and Jalen Hurts. So the Eagles I feel like they're banking pretty heavily on a return to form for their offensive line. Lane Johnson got hurt. Andre Dillard got hurt for the year. But again, Lane Johnson is 31, got hurt several different times last year. Dillard is only 25, but he had a torn bicep, which is a pretty huge injury for an offensive lineman. I mean, one of their major things they use is their arms.
No.
So they got him coming back. And then, to be fair, they drafted Landon Dickerson, who, by all accounts, could be an amazing player. But he's been injury-plagued his entire career. So this thing could all fall off the rails again for a guy who only threw 148 passes in 4 games as a starter last year, named Jalen Hurts. If his offensive line is crap, is he really going to be able to, learn the offense and become a true starter and get these guys the ball?
Man, you just I hope that he never hears about any of my injuries because he's gonna never coming back. Brandon Brooks also missed 2020. He's an elite right guard. So.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think Jason Kelsey. No one's going to argue with him being amazing. So there are components of this O line that really could make this, a top 10 caliber team.
That's fair.
At that, that position group. But like you're saying, if there are injury struggles, then there's going to be issues. But I think that rushing quarterback and Jalen Hurts can overcome some of these things. I think he can develop. And again, it all just goes back to Kenny Gainwell getting those dump-off passes.
Oh, for sure. I think Gainwell's going to feast.
About Kenny Gainwell for a second?
Sure.
Because you guys know who the offensive coordinator for the Eagles now is.
Oh, yeah.
Shane Steichen, who had most of his coaching career in the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers. He's the interim offensive coordinator in 2019, kind of like the Austin Eckler breakout kind of year. Mm-hmm. And, there is nothing to be said about last year. Austin Eckler didn't play. They didn't really have that type of guy, so he might be coming in to be that Austin Eckler kind of guy.
I think he absolutely is.
So
I think they want to use Miles Sanders predominantly on the ground because he had, even behind this line that was so banged up, he had decent rushing numbers. I mean,
he had 867 in 12 games.
Yeah, which is not bad at all. So if the line stays a little healthier and they use him as the runner, I see Gainwell. Yeah, I see him catching tons of passes in this offense. It is interesting, though. We got to note that they did bring in Kerryon Johnson, and they still have Boston Scott. So there are 4 bodies there, and he's a 4th-round rookie at the end of the day.
Right.
Maybe it takes him a minute to get going.
It does kind of seem like they're looking for that role, though.
Yeah, so I agree.
If Miles Sanders steps up, it could be a big-time thing. But, we'll see if it's more of a committee thing or if it's going to be true to that.
I guess I'm still just worried about Jalen Hurts, because we haven't seen enough from him. But I agree with everything you guys are saying about the roles that these guys are going to have. But quarterbacks scare me because they can take away all of those roles pretty quick.
Well, and that's why we need you, because we're definitely in the glass half full mentality. At least I am over here.
Yeah, I think just Jalen Hurts' rushing game that's next level. I could see a situation like Buffalo where you want to get excited about these running backs, but really...
Yeah, Jalen Hurts takes it all.
Yeah, let's just look at his 3 good years in college, not his junior year, and you're looking at 950-plus yards with 13 touchdowns, 850-plus with 8 touchdowns, and then his senior year just short of 1,300 with 20 touchdowns.
Oh,
and so last year he's already getting about 15 rush attempts and 50 yards per game. Mm-hmm. And that's with a bad O-line. That's with the organization that is obviously having some conflict on the inside.
Yeah.
And coming in not really sure what the heck's going on. They had a weird finish to the year. They finished strong.
Yeah.
In a strange way. Mm-hmm. So now you take an offense that had no real receiving options, and you put Kenny Gainwell and Devonta Smith in there.
Could open it up for sure. Yeah.
It could be. It feels developmental, but it feels like a step in the right direction. Carson Wentz was way better than people are remembering him because of what happened last year. But, I think there are some fundamental things with this Eagles organization in the defense and the O-line that if they can bounce back and maintain the good parts, we could be looking at a decent team, They were pretty strong in the playoffs a couple of years back, and hopefully some of that, I know the organization has changed quite a bit, as has the starting quarterback. But if they can keep some of that momentum going, then they might have a chance to do a little bit of something, do better than 4-11-1.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I can see it going both ways. I think if you invest in the Eagles now, you might be getting in on the ground floor of a startup company, and you might have to wait a year to see a little bit of the production you're hoping for. Is kind of where I am at. Because they have so much to figure out. They have a new coach. They have basically a new quarterback, a running back who has been spotty but decent, offensive line injury shifts, new wide receiver who's basically going to take that room over, in my opinion. So there's just a lot of moving parts for a rookie head coach.
Is there even a receiver in that core that's like more than a 3-year receiver?
No. Jalen Reagor, Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward, and Quez Watkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I could see it going either way. I could see them being a decent team. Especially, I think their defense will keep them in games for sure. But as far as fantasy, I could see inconsistency, I guess. Like, you could see somebody blow up for like 25 points and then the next week get like 4 while they're trying to figure themselves out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there has to be something consistent, and maybe that's Dallas Goedert.
Yeah. I could see that. He would be the most consistent piece that I'd be looking for, especially if Ertz leaves.
Yeah.
I definitely see that defense keeping them in games and then playing conservatively, which to me is dump offs and tight end play.
Yeah.
So.
Baby, it's not real, just a fantasy you dreamt up.